All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely actors. You understand? Merely actors. And you're playing a part. And our question to you always is, did you choose the part? Or did the part choose you?
That's the question. Not an easy question because I don't think that most people contemplate to see who's choosing the part, whether it be them or the world.
That's what you have to decide. Where did this come from? Right here. Where did this come from? Right here. It all comes from within. As within, so without. There's no without a within. Hello. All denial, we're told, is self-denial. And people are running around blaming God. I don't know. Just stop and think for a moment. The conveniences that we have every day, at just one finger, you can operate all kinds of things. Just think of the ease and comfort that we have now to the whip.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You want to know if you're taken care of. You're doing a pretty good job of it if you're free of that.
Yeah.
It's attitude awareness. You know, like I said, generally, most of those books on top of the shelf up there,
Hmm.
they're wise men down through the centuries, and they all agree readily, rapidly on one idea, and that is man is his attitude. You understand? You are your attitudes. Are they lovely and of good report? Are they? Or are they, yeah, the negative? You know something? When I started looking to see what was happening in my world, I discovered I was I was negative.
Hmm.
I mean, I had a negative mind. Whatever came up, I look at the negative side first. Why? Ooh, but I always went to the negative side first. And I thought, well, what are you doing by doing that? Setting the course of your world experiencing. Isn't that it?
It isn't. When people they hear that, but they really don't understand the magnitude at that point, because we've talked about it off, camera, you were dealing with 40 years of programming, and most of that programming, whether it be from your experiences in the military, life in general, whatever, was negative. So when they hear you say that you were negative, they don't grasp the magnitude of that story. They hear this nice old man that they know now today, and they think, oh, that's just so nice. They don't understand the depths. And I do because my own story kind of parallels at times, and so everybody thinks that they're unique and they think that they're going through the storm alone and that nobody else has experienced what it is that they've experienced. The wonderful thing about your story is there's a coming out on the other side. And for the last 50 years, you've been teaching from the other side.
Yeah. But the thing of it is that actually I'm just a voice.
Yeah.
It's not coming from me. It's coming through me. Understand that. And that's very important for you to understand, and it's very important for me to keep it in mind that I'm not what's important here. It's you hearing the message.
Mm-hmm.
And this really, you believe it or not, that's okay. If you hear it,
Yeah.
see, it's recorded and it's in there. It's in there. And you can bring it up anytime, Anytime you're willing to sit silent for a few minutes, you can bring it up and you can live it out. And that's what you want to do, because it's as you think you are, and if you're aware of that, what you're thinking, then you're aware of where you're going, what you're doing, what you're being, and what you will be, because you're always thinking ahead of your evidence. You know so much more than you know that you know, right?
Absolutely. I want to talk, one of the reasons why I wanted to come out here was Emma. Emma had a question, so I want to address her question. I may break it up into a couple of parts, but I'll start with the first portion of it. She says, hey, thanks for these conversations. If you ever do a question and answer with Lindell, I do have one question, which is, I'd like to know his answer. The question is, how can a person move into a new state of consciousness if his or her body is stuck in the past? Does that make sense, or do I need to rephrase it?
Oh yeah, you just drop it off.
I'm laughing because I knew the answer, but I wanted her to hear you saying it, because I think that we overcomplicate it. And she's going to hear the answer and she's going to think to herself, that's too simple. But expound on that. You said just drop it off.
Hey, everybody's hyper.
Yeah.
Huh? Come on, hurry, 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 hurry. Everything is hurry, hurry. And then they add music to it to make sure you don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
And all, like I said, all little antics that go on, and they keep your attention, and they keep programming it and programming it and and you just
yeah.
You think I'm kidding you, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I went through this. I know exactly what happened. For years, I was such an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed okay because I was an idiot.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Now, go ahead. Okay, so I want to kind of delve down into hers. You said just drop it, just drop it. So she's dealing with anxiety. And as we often say, even with anxiety, worry, stress, whatever, that's the prayer. If that's what you're holding on to, that's the prayer. So how would you address that?
Yeah, actually, you're right. People do not. You wouldn't find 1 in 100 who actually know how to relax.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about on a beach in a lounge chair and drinks and all of that and sun, umbrellas, and I'm not speaking that kind of relief. I'm speaking of absolute relief, of responsibility to the whole world, to be one with yourself. But that means you have to have a state of mind. And you can have a state of mind. Just join it, join with it. Act it out. Get visions of you being, doing, and having everything you want to do. See you visioning you doing it and enjoying it. And that's what you're told to do. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Why tell you to do something like that if you're incapable of doing it? And who would know if you were capable? And he says you are. You keep telling me you're not. See, and so that's the impasse we got to get around, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said something. She even mentions it here. She says Neville talks about meditation or focusing on being. People know the answer because Emma has really just called off the answer. Now, we say week after week is enter into your closet with your father who's in secret, go into the silence. People don't want to do that. You said it earlier, everybody's hairy, hairy, hairy. Emma and everybody that's dealing with stress and anxiety, they need to get quiet, as you stated a moment ago. They need to go into the silence. They need to connect with their father. You said self. They need to connect with their inner self, their inner being, and know that I'm God.
Yeah, come on. And then, and he says, I am with you always. That one blew me away. When it finally hit bottom, boom, it just blew me away that God would say something like that. And then I realized it's all God. It's
Absolutely.
all mind. Mind is all things to all. What are you doing in mind right now? Thinking feelingly about what? Oh, you're probably thinking greatly right now. But what about a couple hours from now or after dinner tonight? You know, what are you going to be doing? Watching television or what? That one-eyed peephole into paradise. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was told it was. But I don't believe it. You know something? I should have let this week pass. I don't think I could have taken another one. I love everybody. I love everybody, but go home.
I'm kind of like that at times. I love having the company, but it's nice seeing them come, but it's nice seeing them go.
We had at one time 7 people, and then my wife and I, that's 9 people. And then we got rid of them, and then got rid of them, and then the next group comes in the next day, 4 days, and that's 4 people. And there would just be people coming out of everywhere, you know. And in this house, it's just my wife and I,
I know.
you know,
Yeah.
and I love it. We just love it.
You know, and people don't understand for somebody that's listening and you're not accustomed to having your own space. And then all of a sudden that space is released to, let's say, this case, 9 folks, and it's different. You can't, when I have the grandchildren at the house and so forth, I can't move through the house the same way I do when it's
Oh
just me
yeah.
and the wife. So I have to be mindful of my dress. I have to be mindful of closing doors. And sometimes you can forget that you got company. So I have to purposely be mindful. Okay, I got guests in the house, so I do understand the dynamics of when it's just you and Patricia, and then when other people, even if it's just one person, it makes a difference.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And she said that if I go first, she's gonna stay right here and maintain the whole thing. And my
Mm-hmm.
God, she can do it.
Yeah, yeah, she can.
She'll get other people, old man gardeners,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and just hire them and
Yeah,
get it all
absolutely,
done.
absolutely, absolutely.
And she's a worker. I mean,
She is.
she is really a worker, and
But
she.
both of you are. Yeah, different, but both of you are, because you get out there in that garage, you get out there and start fiddling with things, you start pruning those trees. And so the two of you collectively are worker bees. You make things happen. So absolutely.
Well, I got the stinger stone. Uh, yeah. Thing of it is, I get tired so easy.
Yeah.
But then again, too, that does the very thing for me that I really love to do, and that's go sit down and be still.
Mhm.
I had a half a dozen of Neville's tapes. And I listened to them at least one every night for years before it actually touched base. I began thinking differently. The importance of having a CD, because what has your focus has your life. Think about it. We're not asking you to join anything, but you have to have the CDs. You have to have the DVDs. You have to listen to them. It's you training this. Listen, listen, listen.
But as Mr. Lindell stated, you have to listen to them repeatedly. And again, for those who are interested, click the link below and it will take you to the 4 CD set, and you'll be able to transform not only your mind, but your world.